Let me do your hair. Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct from Iowa. That's where we're coming from. All right. So what's happening with you, Cheryl? Where you coming live and direct from?
Dago.
There you go. All right.
Dago.
There you go.
That's right. That's
Where
right.
they go San Diego when they want to go home. That he said that. He said that. He said they go. So y'all know I was getting that almost like Harry Belafonte. I almost had it. He said it. No, not that good. Not that good. All right. So what's happening? I think we're firing on all cylinders. I don't know what's happening with Instagram here on this interface. We're gonna have to talk to these people. Instagram, I hope you guys can see us because it's not showing up on my end, but everybody else on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Welcome to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. And we are 158 episodes in, and tonight it's going to be a very contentious night. It's going to be a contentious night because we're still talking about 25 years of the natural hair movement. And tonight we're going to focus on their education. Yes, this is going to be a good one. So we hope everybody is ready to just join in and have a good time. Cheryl, are you ready to have a good time and talk about this situation here?
Hey, look, let's get it.
She said, what's his name? Come on, let's get after it. Let's get into it. Let's get involved. I'm still trying to get this thing on. I don't know what's going on with this thing on Instagram, but anywho, we're trying. But before we get into the topic, welcome everybody. We asked, what's up, LB? I see you in the chat laughing at me saying, bring over some of that bologna sandwich. You know how we do it. We love some. What's up, everybody on Facebook? I see y'all coming on through. What's up, Sandra? Yes. This is going to be a good one. But before we do it, we got to talk about just a couple of things, right? So, I don't know if y'all know, but Target they not all right. Target is really feeling.
Wait a minute.
They feeling the FIFO effect, the FIFO.
And wait a minute. ICE made San Diego a household name.
Oh, did they now?
No, they had the tear gas bombs out, went into the restaurant, grabbing folks. Yeah.
ICE, baby. They cold.
Ice,
baby. The races and old.
They cold in the game with it.
Wow, they just coming. America's just turning into art. And you know what? Black people, we just sitting back like this. We try to tell you we got no might in this fight in this country. They like, y'all gonna do the work. They tell them black jobs. Now y'all finding out what them black jobs are. I'm here to tell you now. Man, oh man. Yeah. Anywho, Target. We tried to tell you, Target. You should have just, since it's all about the Benjamins, you should have just stuck with where the money was if it meant that much. That knucklehead don't care nothing about no dang on millionaires. Okay. Anywho. All right, Target. So
wait a minute, but what happened to him?
Well, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I don't know if they're going to have to shut down or anything, but it's just not looking good. Which is it's kind of like a pickle because black folk work. All people. I shouldn't just make it a black thing, but so they did the DEI thing. Those people, probably going to lose some jobs and take some pay cuts, but they should have been speaking up as best they could. But anywho, sorry, Tabitha. We tried to tell you too, Tabitha. We've been told you, Tabitha, all on social media. Y'all need to just cut this out. Tabitha, we done told you. Get your own on your own. It'll strengthen your soul. Stop living off target like you're 3 years old. Instead of sitting around talking about yagging about her. Why don't you take your monkey butt? Get a college degree. Go on, Tabitha. Leave them folks alone. They ain't thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? This one blew me back. So Oklahoma is supposed to be eliminating their cosmetology board effective July 1st, but they pulled back, and the governor said we're gonna do it next year because they went up to the Capitol and they was like, DMX, y'all gonna make me act a fool. They went up there like, you better not get rid of them cosmetology license. And that's kind of, a good segue into our topic that we're talking about is the miseducation of curly hair. This is our podcast series. We are 158 episodes in. We're going to kick it off today to set the tone. I'm reaching out to people to interview. If you know someone who wants to talk about this, please hit us up at afrohairscience@gmail.com. And we love to have them on this particular platform as we discuss the miseducation of curly hair. This is our summer series. We're kicking it off, and it's going down. Ain't that right, Cheryl?
Baby,
there it is. Right there. The dumbest shit people say about black hair. This is our summer podcast series. It begins, and we're talking about the miseducation of curly hair. Last but not least, this one right here, sure, I ain't gonna lie, this one, they done got rid of damn Job Corps. I went to Job Corps for a minute.
You did?
Yeah, I was a high school dropout. I was like King T. I went to high school, but I flunked every class. Yeah, I couldn't even do Job Corps. I was so pathetic. My mother was like, just ain't gonna be stupid ass. I was just dumbing in a box of rocks. Anybody was dumbing in a box of rocks when they were younger, but you're okay now. I'm one of those people. I did. It was Job Corps. We had one up on 105. It was one over on off St. Clair or Coit Road. If you're from Cleveland, you know what I'm talking about. It was just a little too gangster for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, hecky nah. It's like thug passion up in here. But they were serious about that. Anybody ever been to Job Corps? I'm laughing, but I'm serious as a cat. So I'm telling you,
my God.
Job Corps be body, rowdy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for the faint at heart, but unfortunately, a lot of teenagers and young adults are homeless. People are without jobs. And I heard this one person who posted, she did a very thorough job and was saying, it's ironic because now remember that what you call that lady who's what's the speaker, whatever, press secretary, okay? Now remember last week she was saying, we don't want to give Harvard no more money because they got them up in the LGBTQ. We want to take that money and we want to give it to what they call them vocational. Oh, so they want to give it to the people like Job Corps, right? But maybe they found out that gay people, LGBTQ, was at Job Corps and said, "Oh, Ladosha and them told us they was up there. They can't get no more funds." I mean, that's the dumbest administration on planet Earth. I mean, and see, this is what we're saying. Everybody is talking this. What's that? We're liberals. We're fighting USA. USA.
You ain't got to worry about Americans traveling nowhere. We so embarrassed. We ain't even gonna be.
When I go to Africa, I'm going with a sheet on my head. I'm be like, Fatu, come pick me. I'm gonna give me a fake Wolof accent and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be eating that rice jollof.
Oh my God!
Packing the food up in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but no, seriously though, seriously,
We are the dumbest.
This is the dumbest thing. So now these people are saying that they voted for him for all these reasons: the job security, your political blah blah blah, right? But again, America don't like paying people. They don't like teaching people either. America, like, we want them dumb. We want them barefoot and pregnant. We just want some dumbass citizens.
Oh God.
We want them real stupid. Y'all know this is dead serious. So Job Corps, my heart goes out to you. Job Corps is out of here. They just was like, and that again, we got these two topics here. That's a perfect segue into our series, which is all about the miseducation of curly hair. Now, we got to kind of set the tone for how we came up with this. I wish I should have put them side by side, but anywho, here we go. So this is the book. If you haven't read The Miseducation, I think anybody that's been radicalized in college, in the joint, on the streets, your grandmama, maybe your boo thing, these are requirements. Like, if I meet a guy, I'm like, have you ever read Miseducation of the Negro, at least heard of it? If he say no, I'm like this. I ain't communicating with no black man who ain't heard of or read of The Miseducation of the Negro. This is an African American. You ain't black, you can't come to the picnic. You whatever you can say. I don't care. Get mad all you want to. I don't give a flying fluke fart. I don't even care what color you are. You need to read The Miseducation of the Negro. It's amazing that in his day when he wrote this book, he kind of talking. He was like gangster. I don't know, y'all. Carter G. Woodson was blackety. No, he was African, blackety black. He was down for the African. He was. And so I'm just going to tell y'all in a nutshell, in this book, he is literally pointing out it should be the indoctrination of the Negro. Would really be, he could have just put that in a parentheses or something. But when you miseducate people, you are, in America for sure, indoctrination was real. I mean, they did that, the religion. They kind of got us good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm with you, Rike. Poor Job Corps. So what's up, Live Work? Just a little American history. By the way, just because you in Canada, you Negroes in Canada need to read this. Y'all ain't exempt. All of us coming from that coast. Hey, if you in Mexico, Haiti, I know barbecue got your. I know y'all still need to read the Miss. As a matter of fact, I think if barbecue and them would read this book, they might be able to do something with 80. They just might. Somebody send this on over to our peeps over in Haiti. So anybody in the Americas, Brazil, I'm seriously, y'all need to read this book. Remember that the Willie Lynch letter?
Oh God.
Does anybody remember all the hoopla? And they said, oh, come to find out it was fake. But anywho, even though it was fake, because I believed it was real. Like, when I was in college, I'm telling y'all, it was like indoctrinated. It was like getting us real good. And so they had a little pamphlet called the Willie Lynch letter. Sandra, you remember that? Anybody, weekend? Y'all remember I need to pull that up. The Willie Lynch letter. Remember those, Cheryl? It was How to Train a Negro.
It's
the Willie Lynch letter. And it was I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, it stung too.
The Willie Lynch letter was, oh my God. People was reading
about pseudo.
I know, but it sounded, once you look back on it, the language, language alone should have had us. But we were just thirsty. Hey, Sandra, Live Work, we was thirsty to be radical out here. We'll take anything, whatever we could do. Get them, kill Mighty, kill, get back at them, so get them. So, so that's the Willie Lynch letter. Oh my God. I'm sure you can find a PDF So don't take. I had this one right here, sure, the yellow one. It was in the salon and everything. I was sued up.
Oh my!
Come on, Cheryl. Who else? Shut up, man.
I can't say I supported it.
I did.
I could
My
never
my
I could
BFF
never
was like,
get it.
Joseph, if you don't take that, I'm like the Willie Lynch letter. He was like, Ninja, if you don't. He didn't call me that, but he would never say that. But he said a host of nights. What's up, Chio? How you doing? But yeah, the Willie Lynch letter, yeah, just anywho. We gotta do better. And tonight, hopefully, we are going to do a really good job. With our topic, Wike, I'm telling you, no lie. I had the Willie Lynch, the little pamphlet in the salon. I was just giving my
Oh
people.
my
Yeah.
God!
That's just as bad as the virus ain't real. You know what I'm saying? No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the concept of Willie Lynch is correct, that they were, all of that. But it just, anyhow. What's up, Sunflower Power? That's a bad name, girl. Welcome, our cousin.
Power.
Sunflower Power. She came forward like, let me see what's up with this YouTube channel called The Dumbest Shit That People Say About. But Cheryl, let me give her a big round of applause. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Here you go. Sunflower Power. We got a new. What's up, cousin? What you cooking to the barbecue on? Yeah, I got some clips that's going to be a little bit ice. So we want to set the tone here. Cheryl, how we get to this topic of the miseducation of let's set the tone so people can understand. Now we do have some new people. They don't know who we are. So just right quick. This is the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel, America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Okay. And so what we do here, this one is particularly for the consumer, hair aficionados, and of course, hair professionals. And we just take a topic or a trending topic or belief or whatever you want to call it. Bullfragger, paggernackle. And we just busted wide open, like busted. So we just, we busted wide open. And, it's a discourse. You can agree or disagree. We have been wrong. People will check us in the chat. It ain't that serious for us. It's okay. If we wrong, we wrong. If we right, we're WRIGHT. You know what I'm saying? We just right. And so I got a shameless plug, but what we want to do is liberate our people from wasting money, wasting time on their hair. Because anywho. So we're 25 years into the natural hair movement. And this is every for the next 12 months, we just have these series. So this month, Cheryl and I was just, this natural hair license thing I'm just shocked that the braiders want to be licensed now. I am shocked. And our thing is, well, who's educating them? So Cheryl, how we get here?
It's ironic because I really didn't, because we were thinking of a theme, and then I said that I had an article I did several years ago, and I have this graphic, right? And so I took the front of that book and put the change and more around the hair, trying to give attention more about the lock and the chain being.
Now, y'all know I had came up with it, right? And Cheryl was like, hey, Sandra. I was like, I got it, Cheryl. We just go in on and call it the miseducation of the Negro hair. She said, I already did it. I was like, God. Is there anything you haven't thought of?
Hey, I'm true to it.
She ain't new to this. She true to this.
So basically, just to go with Mr. Woodson theme, is that, and then of course he's talking about miseducation as it's germane to American education, but we are talking about a long thousands of years of history that I believe that in the last 25 years we have ignored, and we're acting like there has not been any knowledge that precedes us. and that Black hair care since the conception of the beauty vocation by Madame Malone, we act like it's not there. And so,
Now, when you say we
but
act like it's not there, can you give some examples so people can like, sure, what you mean we act like we ain't never had no education?
well, and just in terms of support, when we say in Black hair care, we say, or just the language of those who have been in charge and founders of brands within the last 25 years, those who have come amongst the ranks and want to reach back and try to legitimize braiders and weavers and things of that nature and locticians, we act like this has not happened before. We act like natural hair has never happened before. We act like silk press is not a press and curl. We act like that things that we are experiencing now has not been something that has happened before. And to make Mr. Carter's point of his original intent of the miseducation of the Negro is when you ignore, turn a blind eye, indoctrinated, miseducated, diseducated, and when you refuse and hold on to ignorance, what you become, and I think the word that he used was negligent. Your
That
own
benign neglect, that
yeah,
benign neglect,
yeah, and you just become negligent in your own pursuit. And so you are shooting yourself in the foot, you're cannibalizing your history, and you are suffocating yourself and cutting yourself off from information that is preceding you. And that in therein lies, because for some reason, the underbelly, the real foundation, the seed, the roots of generational wealth of anything starts with its information. Library of Congress, where all the books and knowledge and information and all of the gospels of who we are and culture of who we are lies in that history, in those pages and books and knowledge and papers and studies and things and just experiences. When you act like it's not there, then you are negligent in your own pursuits. You will not reach your goal, and if you will ask the wrong questions, you may not ask questions at all. And for some reason, we were talking last night, I don't think
right.
that no other cultural institution that African Americans or African descending African people have created has faced these many challenges, and the challenges are coming from inside.
Yeah, it's like we're cannibalizing we're cannibalizing our own opportunities, from, just not having the right information. And I think money is because folks got to eat, and I think this is where people like you and Shirley just shut the hell up, because we mess with the church's money. But and I like to use myself as an example. Okay, I wanted to hold on to the ignorance too, because I did. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody else. I truly did feel like if I had to tell the truth, then what about the lies that I had been saying all along? And like the deep conditioning. And I was talking to my friend the other night, and he was like, he said, you use Vaseline. Vaseline is gonna get into your pores. It's toxic. I remember having those same with no nothing. I would just repeat it, regurgitate it. And so here we are in Afro Hair Science. And Wayne Dyer says those who irritate you most are your master teachers. And Cheryl was irritating the motherfucker plucking French toast out my black actor, okay? And why that was bothering me so much is because I thought it was gonna mess with my money. And Cheryl, you kept asking, why do you feel a need to say that? And I was just like, Misha, it's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Well, most importantly, I don't, for some reason, I don't know what it is about Black people's hair, our likeness, persona, our image. I don't know why we don't think that something else belongs in that space that could allow us to have expanded thoughts, such as scientific thoughts, such as logical thoughts, critical thinking thoughts. Why do we believe that 70, 80, 90 years before 25 years ago, the full 100 years of the 20th century, that we didn't write anything?
And this
Nothing.
sunflower power is why we are talking about braiders wanting to be licensed. Yes, that is exactly
Or not
where
just
we're building up to it. We just got to build up to it, son, because we're kind of perplexed to see, what's happening here. But we got to give a backdrop. And the reason why we have to give the backdrop is because there's just so many school of thoughts that are away from the points that Cheryl is making. First and foremost, like Cheryl said, we have done this. The notion of no education, regulation, we're going to kind of put those two together, but separate them. We have got to, we just going to start it off. That is the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair.
Wait a minute. And
it's the no education. So we're going to get to regulations, but go ahead.
Right. And when we say people, we literally mean the ones within cosmetology, the ones at the board, the state legislators, the federal legislators, congressmen, senators, all of them, okay, judges, magistrates, attorneys, okay, professors, okay, writers, authors, creatives, okay, braiders, natural hair care people. We talking about those people.
I was one of those people.
Everybody. Because one of the things that it has been so co-opted, okay, because one of the things that we just really truly believe that maybe if education is connected to some kind of legislation or some kind of accreditation, or you can get something at the end called a degree or a certificate, we believe that if our information, cultural information or professional, it just comes in the cosmetology fields, such as most of them, like Mr. Morrow. We don't believe that information. It must come from some kind of institution outside of the industry that may give it some kind of credence. And that has gotten us in trouble. So now the pursuit of this license, it's to make us feel legitimate. So therefore we can either get salaried, or we can start building wealth, or we start building businesses. That education is connected to a license, business license, so to speak. It's all about legitimizing. And that force makes us not look back to see if we did it before.
Not only does the I don't know, is it a thirst or the ambition or the desire, the ambition and the desire to get the license now, because what I'm understanding now, as I get more education, not just in Afro Hair Science, but education in general, one of the things that I find out for sure is the source of who is the purveyor of, or the progenitor of, the education we're receiving. Like when we look at Milady's standard of natural hair styling and braiding, right? So Milady's owns they got a monopsony, as Cheryl would call it, over the education. So we have these group of professionals who are really, like we said, ambitious and desiring to now have this license, which we're going to talk about why they want it a little bit more past what Cheryl was saying. But and we're going to do it, of course, a podcast on how do we vet this information? Because when we look at this information, these people are blindly going after this license per se from a publisher who probably has, it's about as pseudo as the Willie Lynch, not that deep, but you know where I'm going with that, you know?
Just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so 50-50 there. So Miladies needs some work, not knocking the contribution of the people who have contributed to it, but it is still very under the European. And there's so many other schools of thoughts around this thing called natural hair. It's pathetic.
Well,
So
well, here's really where it gets kind of weird. How fast could Milady authenticate what culture is doing faster than the licensure and the professional can legitimize themselves? How did they be able to put that in their book, pass accreditation, pass the assembly in the states, to put it in the book, to make it okay to teach it, but the braider themselves has difficulty being legitimate in terms of wanting to learn what the hell they put in the book? How did they do that so quick?
can somebody answer that question? That's a pause. What's up, McKenna? How you doing? That is a very good question. And I hope you guys follow, what she just asked. Because that's a very interesting, like, here's Milady's putting this stuff out faster than the people can digest and believe. And before they can even critique and wonder, is it, they're just like, I want it.
Yeah, I want. Let's say, okay, you're giving me a very short time to learn it, and you keep legislating if I should learn it or if it's either important to learn. But Milady can put it in as official education that quick.
So let's take it to, Sunflower, this is gonna be your hour of power, okay? Because she just, come on, Sunflower, you better bring it, girl, bring it, because that's, here go her question, Cheryl. So is it the license or is it good old fashioned capital? You a bad motherfucker. Shut your mouth, Sunflower. So answer that question, Cheryl. Which one is it? Is it the license that they're, that's controlling this narrative now to get these braiders educated? Or is it capitalism? Like, you know what? This is a good ass money grab off of these black folk from Miladies and the school owners. I'm not saying people don't legitimately want to own a school. I'm just saying what Sunflower Power is saying.
Let's answer it like this. Who would be first in line for the capitalism? Who would take the lion's share of that?
Let's wait.
Beauty school. And so, but you don't see beauty schools really on the lobby, on the front lines, fighting with the professionals that they so-called get paid to produce. Your ass is by yourself. Now, how did that happen?
Now, I will say that here in Ohio, there were 3 schools that was putting up the money for the buses to put the people on, to pay are they called lobbyists? Am I correct, Cheryl? Because you got to pay these folks. And I want you to talk about that to help Sunflower Power understand what's at stake, because I think they don't understand this, okay? So you had 3 schools that was paying for the transportation. They were paying for the lobbying, and I would just say good old-fashioned marketing to get the word out. No, I'm just yeah.
No.
For the most part,
absolutely. They're just not on the front lines.
Yeah,
they're not
think about, I think Ohio has over, like, they have hundreds in the double digits of schools, barber schools, cosmetology schools, and natural hairstyling schools, but only 3: La Barberia, Brown Aveda, or just Aveda, because there were other ones in Kentucky or whatever, and Salon Schools Group out of Columbus. Only 3 educational institutions is what Cheryl is saying. The rest of them mugs, they wasn't there. But to your point, Sunflower, and Cheryl just said, they stand to get all that money.
Now, on the flip side, let's say that we were to flip the script, and we all went up to Capitol, and we told them, you know what, you can keep it. You're right. In fact, we don't want any. In fact, you don't have to do it. Okay, and at that point, you have to find out where would then at that point, even if states are even like Oklahoma, even considering deregulating it altogether, what would be at that point? It would be maybe a 24-hour sanitation, or maybe, kind of requirement, right? And then you would just, as long as you learned because one, you guys have to understand, violating the rules creates capitalism. It's called fees. Violation, you got to pay something, right? So the system is created for us to be able to, it's a lot of catch-22s, but I will say that until the cosmetology, the ones who work behind the chair, we all work behind the chair. It all involves a chair, and we get on one point. But I think that what is missing is that we don't know historically. We don't know where we are in the whole conversation and how things are wired. And I think that lies the issue. What did she say?
No, I'll put it back up, and we'll use that to go in. By the way, to our first clip, if you have any questions or you would just want to join the discourse, please feel free. This is a very healthy dialogue about the miseducation of curly hair. This kicks off our summer podcast series, and we're going down the rabbit hole of 25 years of the natural hair movement, and this time it's the focus on their education. And so Cheryl has just given, a really good point, something for us to think about, when it comes to the education. What if we flip the script and say, you know what, y'all can have it. We'll go ahead and get it. And so I think the thing is, because Sunflower Power says, I think the braiders are wanting to be licensed so they aren't fined and they can work. No, okay. And she agrees that it shouldn't be mandated. And so now it becomes, how do we determine, because the public is looking for truly a more, when I say sophisticated, I don't mean as in, style, but in thought and education and application of knowledge, of course, creativity, public safety and sanitation, the whole business acumen. The public is now wanting more, and they're willing to pay. They are willing to pay. And so here is a video clip of a very famous braider. She's I forgot. I think she's out of I forgot where she's from, but anywho, so she actually is the one who Arizona, for the braiders to not have the license. She got with the Institute for Justice. So this is her clip of natural hair education and what she can offer people who don't want to be licensed, but they need some education to get their business together. Here we go.
Learn from an industry leader in natural hair. Learn new techniques. Expand your skill portfolio.
This education series will be a 2-day hands-on event that will educate you and equip you to go into the natural hair care industry with integrity and confidence. So if you are a student, an industry professional, or a natural hair care enthusiast looking to broaden your horizons, these education courses are for you.
It's basically an investment into yourself. I feel like when you're learning something hands-on, I understand it more.
All right. So she says in 2 days, if you are a natural hair professional or a licensed cosmetologist, in 2 days, she can equip you with the skill set.
You said if you're a cosmetologist.
Yeah, because she said professionals. Because there are a lot of cosmetologists who no longer mess with what Ladosha got going on here, okay? So she says in 2 days she can get you equipped with a skill set. She can help
Doing
you.
what?
I'm just gonna shoot off what she
No.
said.
I'm just asking.
Styling hair, of course. They want to know how to. She's going to equip you with some natural hair styling skills like braiding, twisting, locking. Okay, she's going to get you some integrity. All right, and then she's going to get you some confidence. Now, so this is where I begin to go. 2 days. So for now, because in case you guys are not aware, there is a big push across the United States, especially in New York City. Mm-hmm. They want to be licensed. Okay. That is just the bottom line. New York had a requirement of 300 hours. They dropped it down to 30 hours. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So what's your take on what does it take to educate these natural hair stylists? Would it take just 2 days to get them equipped with some advanced or modified skill sets? Their integrity of how they show up, punctuality, all the other good stuff, and then the confidence that I can do it. Can you? What would that look like for them?
Before I answer that question, can I ask y'all a question? Okay, Leah Love said 2 days.
2 days, baby. She got you.
All right. And so if I can ask, if you guys can tell me in one sentence, what is natural hair?
Ding 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 ding. All right, ask the question again.
What is natural hair?
All right, come on, guys. Wake up, get out of bed. Wake up, you sleepy heads. Who wants to tell us what is natural hair? Okay. All right. What's up, Kay? How you doing, babe? Come on, y'all. Don't be scared.
Man.
I'll jump in the chat. This is when people ask me what is natural hair. This is what I say. All right. Let me just go ahead on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bro. All right. Okay. Thank you, Maria. Maria. Textbook. Okay. Any hair? Okay, y'all, come on. I love y'all. All right. They coming through. It took a little time for the to come through. So we wasted more chats. I can see our two virtual hosts, Weekay and Sandra, says now shows a good time while they're typing. They can also go ahead on and do this to help change the narrative about the miseducation of curly hair. Here we go, right here. Yeah. All right, we got some comments here. We ready? Again, we are 158 episodes in. You are watching. You are interacting with America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. And this is all about the miseducation of the curly hair. And the question is, what is natural hair? We're going to get a definition around that because we're trying to figure out how can they be educated. A master stylist by the name of Essence says in 2 days, she got you. She can get you some equip you with some new skills. She can get you some integrity, and that's going to lead to confidence. And baby, you got it. The response was from Dr. Leah Love, who has a doctorate in cosmetology. Folks don't know that, okay? She said 2 days. Now we're talking about a person who has a doctorate. Highly unlikely. At the end of the day, she says lies people tell. All right. So let's hear what some answers we got. Textbook definition. Any hair that is not chemically treated is considered natural. My definition is if it grows from your scalp, it's natural. Okay, as long as it come off of a human head, that's your hair. Okay, natural hair is growing out of the scalp without chemicals. Okay, all right. Kay Washington just going along like ditto. Okay, if it grows, it's natural. Oh, y'all coming through. Okay, one more. Thank you so much, Makina. We appreciate that. And then we have the last one. Wike says hair that is not altered with chemicals is considered natural hair. So that's a good, positive responses.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate that.
Is that what she's talking about? She's not talking about that, guys. Okay, so you guys, I don't know why you guys chose to give me the textbook definition when you guys knew I was not asking that. I want to know what is, when people say, maybe I didn't make myself clear. When people say, I'm going to teach you natural hair, they don't mention chemicals. When they say, I'm going to teach you some techniques about natural hair, they don't say, I'm going to teach you how to do hair without chemicals. That is not what they mean. Okay. So when people say that they can train you, and especially people who have done or are familiar and have a cosmetology license, that is extremely disingenuous, because natural hair came out of cosmetology. So with that being said, barbering is cosmetology, pressing is cosmetology, braiding is cosmetology, locking is cosmetology, twisting is cosmetology. All of that's cosmetology.
But in their minds, it's natural hair.
Right. So I want to know, what is natural hair as a school of thought, a set of skills? What is that? That's what I'm saying.
Delilah, go ahead on. Delilah said, shit. Hell, you was more.
Okay. So you're not teaching cosmetology anything. And so why don't we just say you are going to train hairstylists in trendy styles that go under what we call cultural styling. Because cosmetologists do not only have buckets of relaxers someplace. It has not even been true in the last 25 years. So y'all can stop that.
Now, I don't know why, but you got cosmetology. People will say that, they ain't never teach. They do teach. They don't teach you hair coloring, but they go over it.
So let's just, that is one of the things, that's the number one miseducation of Afro curly hair, is that cosmetology is somehow only aching with volume, developer, and relaxer.
Yeah.
And stop that. Cosmetology expands over the whole entire cultural beauty. It was called beauty culture in 1900. Beauty culture. It didn't say any of that. So all of that came out of dreadlocks, was styled and cut, and Afro haircut, and press and curl. All that non-clinically treated shit that you guys are talking about came out of cosmetology. That's why miseducation of Afro curly hair, that's number one. So if we understand that cosmetology is not over here, and somehow natural hair got over there, this over here, natural hair started in cosmetology.
Say it one more time. I don't think they heard you because the truck was riding past. One more again.
All right. Cosmetology is not over here, and natural hair is over here. The natural hair started in the field of cosmetology. Now, why y'all took it out and you already was able to get a license and braid and do all that shit y'all talking about, because y'all can't talk about money and then lack of money, because cosmetology. Now, I'm gonna make my point. Why did Black people take nails out of cosmetology? gave it to Korea, and now Korean men do nails better than black women because black men thought it was gay. Hear that bullshit again. So now white folks and got in your head said that you guys created a multi-billion-dollar nail, and the shit was in cosmetology, and you guys did it first. So when you create these misconceptions, it leaves you broke. That's what lies do. That's what miseducation, ignoring history, not looking at your Sankofa, not looking what your ancestors gave you. That's what happens. That's what Carter G. Woodson was saying. When you have misconception, you are negligent in your own pursuit of what? Profit, poverty, money, riches, economy. You just get so caught up because when you took it out, now you have to re-legitimize 25 years later, re-legitimize something that was already legitimized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understand now, okay, it's spilled milk. It's 25 years later. But I want you guys to understand what is the difference between an educational process and a training, trade, course. Yeah, you can do it, Miss Love, in 2 days, but you're not teaching them a process. You're teaching them what we call an orientation. You're teaching them how to do something in a set of training skills. But that
right there is very misleading to the technician. I'm going to drop a video
absolutely
afterwards on Mazzani's haircut, and we can see that. I mean, it's just right there.
When we make things up and when we make them a separate subgroup kind of industry, then we got to go back into the legislation, go back into the assembly body, go back to the politicians, and go back in there and say, we want to be legitimized. You were already there.
Not to mention, it costs money to do that. So we were already there. So we're gonna move the conversation a little bit more on the miseducation of curly hair. This is part one. We're setting the tone for now. We have your braiders, your lacticians. A large portion of that professional group now wants to have a license, and so we know that people keep asking us, can you guys offer Afro Hair Science online? Can we Google this? Can we click it? Can we get online? So the online social media is truly responsible for educating this niche professional of people. So here's an example of a woman who specializes in natural hair, and she's going to teach you about the dryness and moisture of this thing called curly hair. Here we go. Online education, opinionated education, that is. Here we go.
The reason why I like to use a pine cone for the analogy of frizz and curly hair is because it's directly about hydration. And you can see this one is hydrated and this one isn't. And it is like absolutely microscopic, even though we can't see our hair cuticle. This is exactly what they look like when it's hydrated and when it's dehydrated. So frizz is just a curl waiting to happen.
What you talking about, Will?
Okay, the miseducation of curly hair. Now that was on why hair frizzes. Now you're going to see and you're going to hear professionals either do that, maybe not with the pine cone, but maybe something else. And they may regurgitate that the reason why hair frizzes is because it's dehydrated. Now we can go on for days about that, but the whole point is this sect of people, cosmetologists and barbers and nail techs, everybody in our industry is doing it too, as well as consumers. They're turning to the YouTube to get the education about why hair frizzes. So with that being said, who is really teaching? What are they teaching in natural hair I got the book here from my ladies. I have the book here, and I want to, when we come back on that topic, sure, I actually have the book. I just don't want to kind of, go off the top a little bit. But what do we think is in this book about curly hair, that phenomenon that people still are not quite sure about why it does what it does? Because that to me is also a big concern, and a lot of mis and disinformation about this thing called Afro curly wavy hair. How do we set the tone for these natural hair professionals to even know what Afro hair is and why it does what it does, and so on and so forth?
While I answered that, can somebody tell me what frizz is?
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Wike. All right. Can anybody in the chat? Because the chat is looking beautiful. Thank you guys. Wike and Sandra says this. If you guys could please do this. We just need about still 5 more people. We're going to get 3,500. If we get 5 more subscribers, we're just going to move on up a little bit more, and we find our platform relevant and pertinent and definitely helpful. So let's get it going on. Who can explain what is frizz? Okay. So Kay says frizz equals curl. So I'm going to take a stab at it too. So I was going to give Race. I had to back check. I had to stop that. Okay. All right. Wike said it's what curl hair naturally is. And I said it's a noun used by people who don't know what they're looking at. When they look at our hair, they're like, oh, it must be frizzy. So I think it's just a word that because they don't know what the hell it is. So they just like, oh, it's frizzy. Okay. So Wike, you and I were saying the same thing. Okay. All right. So I think we're pretty good. Okay. Let me take mine out the chat. Okay. Because again, we're talking about who's going to set the tone for this sect of people to really get the right information. Because boy, they're really confused over there. Okay.
Right. Okay. So miseducation number 2. So is frizz descriptive or prescriptive?
Oh, Cheryl be getting us. What's up, Sister Naya Kobe? So nice to see you. Okay. Okay. I'm like, okay, Sister Naya Kobe. All right. Okay. It's frizz.
I like the answer, Miss Naya Kobe.
Yeah, she just on point.
Is it descriptive or prescriptive?
Is it descriptive or prescriptive? Okay, I'm gonna just keep getting in here in the chat. So I'm I'm just gonna stay active with the chat. Because the reason why I like to stay active in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people think, well, Ladosha, she worked with Cheryl. She must know that. No, I don't. No. Part of our job as cosmetologists and professionals, whatever, is to just always be in a learning mode. So I know some things, but I don't know all things. So so far we got 2 for descriptive. Okay. All right. Hold on. We got another little question up in here. All right. Sure. Okay. Okay. We're gonna get that. All right. You got your beauty and myth. So we're gonna come back to that at the end. Okay, we got you. All right. Thanks for supporting Cheryl. All right, we appreciate that. All right, Cheryl, in essence of time. Okay, we're gonna keep it.
Okay, go ahead. What do you think, Miss?
I said I was Sister Naya Kobe. I think it is descriptive. I think it's a noun that they're describing something.
Okay. All righty. Okay, so that's a general consensus. Okay, so when white people talk about frizz, they're not talking about you. Get your ass out that conversation. Just stop it. They're not talking about black people. They're not talking about black, Afro, curly, dominant hair. They're not talking about you. You are not included in that conversation.
But some think they are, though.
They are not talking about you. They're talking about wool. They're talking about fabric. They're talking about white folks' straight hair. Because if Miss Nyakobia and you had basically the base description, the definition, it's unsmooth. It's not a disorder. It's nothing wrong. Doesn't lack anything. It's just something that white people don't like and made you not like it. They're not talking about you. Frizz has nothing to do with black folks' hair. You don't stick your hand in a socket and your shit go up. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You are in a conversation about straight hair. And every time black folks, and if y'all don't understand one thing, this miseducation number 2, stay your ass out, stay your Afro curly, natural Afro curly hair ass out of that conversation. That white woman, that the video she just showed, was not talking about you. It's just, it's the acts is science. That's not, has nothing to do with anything. That has nothing to do with, I just told you.
What, yeah, that's why I said it's our opinion.
Science. Well, yeah. I want you guys to, and I'm gonna prove my point. Because I like to jaw drop my people, because you know y'all got to.
Oh wait, let me get the bomb. Hold on. I see you, Wike and Sandra. Let me get it ready. She about to hit the hammer time. Where is it? Okay. Here come the hammer time. Y'all get ready.
Okay. Woolly, fuzzy, wuzzy, fuzzy hair was actually a disorder in European hair. Y'all can look it up. Don't cook it up. Don't be looking at me. Get on your phones. Woolly, fuzzy hair for white folks was a condition. Woolly, fuzzy hair, and they called it something. White people who had Afro textured hair or fuzzy hair, it was a disorder.
I'm about to get it to y'all. Hold on. I gotta do it. Hold on, y'all. Here it go.
Stop. Hammer time.
All right. God dang it. Y'all better hit that motherfucker. Pluck a thumbs up button. Get off your Okay, now so I gotta enlarge it. So that comments, them comments just stay like God dog it. Here we go. According to ChatGPT AI, whatever y'all want to call it. Yes, having woolly or fuzzy hair. Oh shit! They still saying it. I'm sorry, y'all. We gonna get flat like a buck on this one. Okay. Just yes, having woolly or fuzzy hair can be a symptom of several medical conditions. It's characterized by tightly coiled, often coarse. I'm about to cry. And dry hair, maybe sparse. Some related conditions include hypertrichosis, Naxos syndrome, Naxos-like syndrome, or keratoderma, like with woolly hair. This is the tragedy. I need therapy. What the? They caught our hair. Can't take no more. I need therapy.
Go to images.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome is real, Negro. It's real out here in these YouTube streets. Sure.
Go to the images.
Sorry.
They go all the way from 1900s.
Okay, I'm trying. Let me just come on. I gotta. Oh Lord, y'all pray for us. Y'all better pray. Let me get the images. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Oh Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord, I can't even click my nerves. I don't even smoke marijuana. I need a joint. Shit. I don't even know how to inhale. Let me just say it. Puff, puff, pass. That's how my grandbaby here look. And this how my hair look. Clinical spectrum of wool. What the? We need to call Trump. This is DEI gone wrong. I gotta stop sharing this, y'all.
Oh God.
Let me see what the chat
And
is
this is what I spent the 90s in New York, because I teach PhDs. Okay. I teach PhDs. There is nothing I don't know about Afro textured hair. So at the end of the day, one of the things I want to make sure you are very clear. That's why they had your ass hairdressing their livestock, because they feel that your hair was akin to wool. So when white folks talk about frizz, get your ass and stay out of that conversation. They're not talking about you. The books are not talking about you. And one of the things, if my people could do one thing, natural hair of Black people, you guys have to find a way to talk about it without an opposite. It is a spectral conversation, not an opposite conversation. Coily hair of Black people is at the dominant part of the spectrum, and the other variants are a variant of a dominant expression. There's only coiled hair. Now, when white people have had some remnants or they experience curly hair, they think it's a condition, a disorder, a malfunction. Now, you can't tell me that premise, that comes out of trichology. All of these things come out of Europeans' thought process and how they have interacted with the environment for the last 100 years, maybe last 150 years. And I've told you guys to read the book on the history of beauty by George Jones, Harvard author, The History of Beauty. I forgot it, but I'll get the name later. But that book is important. How they perceive things is how they wrote it. But just because they wrote it in a book doesn't mean it applies to you. Jeffrey Jones, Goffrey Jones, The History of Beauty. That book, in fact, it's on YouTube. The volume's very low. Okay, but he's a colleague of mine. Okay, Beauty Imagined. That's the book right there. Jeffrey Jones, he tells you when Europeans wrote the books on beauty, it was trying to fix issues with their stringy hair, because at that time, woolly, thick, beautiful, buoyant is a good word to use. Buoyant, mane, full, S pattern. Now, there's a sector of autoimmune disorders. But when they talk about frizz, they're talking about an environmental trigger they have with frizz, and so they desire smooth. Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting smooth hair, but at the end of the day, I don't expect Black folks to be taking that information and applying it to your Black ass. Don't do that. Because when you do that, right.
I'm sorry. So Kay asks, so they never consider genetics when it comes to the phenomenon of that they just have a variant? I hope you guys are writing this down, especially if you are a braider and you are aspiring to get that education. you can write that down right now, that we should not be talking along the lines of opposites. It has to be the variant of the dominant strand, which is going to be that tightly coiled hair. So Kay asked, so they never consider genetics when it comes to like the lady here whose hair is like mine. It's this one right here. That they never said just
1, 2,
genetically.
3, 4. Which one are you counting?
The one next to the one with the hand. So
yeah,
with the hand. So that's like Kay said, that's a genetic. Like that's just passed down.
You guys have to remember phenotypic traits. Phenotypic traits. Typic traits are, when I say a dominant, okay, it means that it only needs one dominant gene, allele, to show up. But in order to, when you have, see, Europeans are not supposed to have thick woolly hair, even though they put them on their statues. You've never seen Plato. You've never seen Aristotle. You've never seen Aristotle. You've never seen them. You never even seen George Washington with straight stringy hair, even though they had it. But you always see Greek and Roman in statues with very thick, curly, coily, circled hair, because it was taboo to have straight hair. Okay. So to answer the question, it's an expression, not so much a gene, but there's 2 curl genes. You're going to get Afro curly hair all day. If you start getting, once you get away from the original, or you start mixing, you get away from the variant of the variant.
And so we don't think these people ever thought along the lines of what you're thinking. They just have to come up with this.
Black people can't fathom. I'm sorry, but black people can't fathom that there is white people with thick, woolly, kind of curly textured hair. That was most desired. It is only when you get into the Western world of America, in the Western world, and you're dealing with classism and politicizing texture, and you have what we call a straightness and a smooth, straight, because most Europeans don't have straight hair like either Asians or Scandinavians. They just don't.
Right. Okay. All right. We're going to keep moving along. Y'all got 2 takeaways from the Miseducation of Curly Hair podcast series. So this next one is about the Great Divide. Now, you just taught us that natural hair is birthed out of cosmetology. Cosmetologists have always braided. The techniques of back combing to lock a hair, they do it, guys. And I know natural hair, they have a hard time with that. So here is a lady who we found on Instagram, and she is struggling with the reality that natural hair was birthed out of cosmetology. So here we go with the struggle is real.
But I'm just going to say this, and then I'm going to get off my soapbox because I have to get back to work. So I know we all need to band together so we can build our own collective and have a whole separate licensing from cosmetologists who just steal from us when it's convenient. What you talking about? And talk about textured hair when they can make some money from it. Because that's what they're going to do.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But if we don't all get on the same page, we can't build.
Bless her heart. Bless her little heart. Okay. So you just said that natural hair was birthed out of cosmetology, but there is a school of thought that cosmetology is stealing from this community of experts, and that we are definitely capitalizing off of their, braces are sticking, locks and, added hair and boho braids, so we in their lane now. So how can we band together to decrease the likelihood of the miseducation? of curly hair because she says, it's a divide and that we're stealing from them. So how can we band together? Or your thoughts on that whole clip?
Is tell the truth.
Anybody agree with her? By the way, do you agree? I think cosmetologists ain't got nothing to do with this, and cosmetologists need to stay in their lane, and we got this over here. Can we band? She says we need to band together, even though, we jacking them, we taking their stuff.
Okay. So if you guys can Google Oprah with an afro.
Here I go. Opski with an afro. Oh, there she is. There's Opski. All right. Okay, here we go. Opski with a beautiful afro. Go on, Opski. Here we go, guys. Share the screen. All right. I gotta be like Roland Martin. Come on, damn it. Put it up on the screen. Okay, so there's Oprah with an afro.
Okay. And she was an anchor. She was an anchor. Now, what is the difference between that afro and that magazine cover with the orange dress? What's the difference between that hair and her afro?
One is real and the other is artificial.
Right. But that hair belongs in natural hair.
Which one?
The magazine cover. She would be embracing her natural hair or the natural world. That cover came in the middle of 2012, I think, about being in natural. And so natural hair care, what is the difference between her afro and her hair in any of these hairstyles? So would one be considered in natural hair care, or is the one actually natural hair? Like which one? Why is both of whatever you see in front of you? She's got three, and there's about 25 years here, just in pictures. Okay, there's 25 years of pictures here. Which one is legitimate?
I see where you're going with this. Because I've often wondered that too. I don't know how anything artificial is considered a natural hairstyle. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, but just in the blue, where she's got her hands here,
yeah.
she's just got crimps. And she at the bottom, she's just got, her hair just braided, look like it's taken down. The one in the middle, when she's got the white suit on, okay?
That's a relaxer, no feather look.
No, it's a present curl, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then the one in the orange is extensions, but it's big and it's representing her afro self. The point is, which industry is this woman in at these particular time periods? And so all of these pictures are within 25 to 30 years. And so we have to redefine, because all of these were done by a cosmetologist.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, what industry do you think Cicely Tyson was in? Peaches and Herb, from Peaches and Herb. What industry do you think these women were in? Where do you think they were getting their hair done at? I don't understand who's robbing who. Because at the end of the day, cosmetologists could actually really say, why did you vilify us? Why did you have to be able to become a subgroup and then y'all go your one way, and then now all of a sudden only to come back and your ass sound like you sound ignorant? That's almost to say that all 5 men got their hair done in the barbershop. The concholine, the press and curl, the damn afro shit. James Brown went through what? About 3 hairstyles. And if he wanted to switch up and got cornrows, where do you think he was going to get this shit done? I don't understand. How did we get this far away? How did Cab Calloway and Little Richard, where the hell do you think they were? They were just pressing curls. They were silk presses. And they shit was on stage and the shit blew up just like everybody else shit be going to moisture and reverting. But at the end of the day, where do you think that they were getting their hair wash, or Peter Tosh, or
Morris Day? Yeah.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I put him on.
Bob Marley. These people were performers. They didn't have a different industry to go to deal with African-centric or Afrocentric hairstyles. They went to cosmetology. They didn't have another industry to go to in 1955, in 1975.
Yeah, went on the natural hair industry. Okay, I got you. All right. Okay.
And so as we help each other get on the same page with regulations or information or whatever, it's schooling and certification, I don't want you to feel that cosmetology, the cosmetology that your people call black hair care, the word black meant black people, is out to get you or out to sell or took something from you.
Third miseducation.
Okay.
We're not here yet. In order for us to be able to work together, we have to be of the mindset of the reality that historically and currently, cosmetologists are not out to get natural hairstylists. All right. So now our last point on the miseducation of curly hair is about defining and requiring a license. So here's the last point. Here we go.
All of my natural hair ladies, this one is for you. Would you let somebody style your natural hair, your afro textured hair, your curly kinky hair, all of the textures, feel like you fit within the natural hair community? Would you let someone who does not have a license, who is not a licensed cosmetologist, style your natural hair? Now, certification, hair boards, certification boards, cosmetology boards, they do not require anyone who receives their cosmetology license to have any type of teaching or learning about afro textured hair. Styling to combing to conditioning, none of that is part of the rhetoric.
Because I heard them first, I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So, is the importance of a license important to you? My community was very common amongst younger black women. There were always a handful of women who had this God-given skill.
Come on now, dog.
That's the biggest argument, Cheryl. Where my braiders at? Come on, braiders, lacticians. Don't be scared. I know y'all watching us. Let me get it out, Cheryl. Come on now. Come on now, dog.
You got to play it again because that was a lot. That was a lot
to digest. Okay, one more again. I got the 2 points. Here we go, y'all. Come on, braiders and lacticians. Let's get it together. Let's unite. Here we go.
All of my natural hair ladies, this one is for you. Would you let somebody style your natural hair, your afro textured hair, your curly kinky hair, all of the textures, feel like you fit within the natural hair community? Would you let someone who does not have a license, who is not a licensed cosmetologist, style your natural hair? Now, certification, hair boards, certification boards, cosmetology boards, they do not require anyone who receives their cosmetology license to have any type of teaching or learning about afro textured hair. Styling to combing to conditioning, none of that is part of the rhetoric.
Because I heard them first, I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So, is the importance of a license important to you? My community was very common amongst younger black women. There were always a handful of women who had this God-given skill.
Come on now, dog.
Come on, man. Here we go. Here we go. Do you need them licenses, or you want somebody with a God-gifted hands? God gifted me with this A. This is I am the blessed one. She said, textured hair with Gillette, an unlicensed cosmetologist in your hair, knowing good and motherfucker plucking well. They are governed by people who do not require any teachings. I'm paraphrasing over here. Any teachings or learnings about Afro hair. A likely story. Because at the end of the day, it's the God's gift. That's our culture. God bless me with these hands. I've been braiding this since I was 10 years old in my mama's basement in the backyard. I used to, you know what I'm saying, Cheryl? I created styles. I woke up like this. So now you can say we need to unite and get it together and learn some Afro hair science when I know from the roots of Africa. Go get that kid that. And I got my Afrocentric starter buttons on it. The chat is on fire. Y'all like that, huh? Woo!
Well,
I just gotta get it out. I'll see y'all later. Good night. I love this podcast. That's why I ain't got no boyfriend. Can we give her a round of applause? Come on, y'all. Get this girl a standing ovation. Come on. Come on now. Let's just go on and give it to her. Because this our new cousin, Sunflower, because she got all the motherfucker plucking power tonight. That's the great debate right there. They loving it. Look at our Canadian sister, like, now she went blackety black. We know her ass black. And if she ain't black, you coming to the picnic. I feel like Oprah Winfrey, y'all remember Color Purple? She was laughing at the dinner table. Pass me the biscuit.
oh my God.
I'm with you, Sandra. That sunflower power. She just bam on her.
Hey man, so I can hear it. So you mean
I'm sorry, sunflower. Okay. This is my last laugh. You know, they always say go for the chat. The comment section. Okay,
so formally trained. Okay, so I want us to use the medical equivalent to that. So I got gifted hands and you went to medical school. Come on, people. Come on. It can't get any dumber.
It's pee on my floor. I'm sorry.
And wait a minute. Then she had the nerve to use the word rhetoric. So nothing that cosmetology could be saying, or cosmetologists, because I'm one. Nothing. I'm saying rhetoric, and they're saying the truth.
Why do natural hair people believe that cosmetology schools don't cover anything about Afro textured hair? Now, remember, guys, the cosmetology education, Cheryl just told, if you're new to the platform, it is a training course. That is not in depth. even with hair coloring, I mean, all of it, we complain. We didn't get enough education on hair coloring. We didn't get enough education on hair cutting. We complain about all of it. It's not just Afro hair, okay? But they do. I don't know why they keep. I'm sorry, I'm taking over. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I don't know who told them. But then on the flip side, they all up in these New York State legislation chambers wanting to be validated and regulated and brag about being deregulated at some point and bragging about that they were self-induced of becoming deregulated. I want to help and make sure that because my job is to make sure that I train the top brass and who wants the freshest, most advanced, most precise and critical, and be critical thinkers and great cosmetic and cosmetic trichology, whatever they want to be the top and to have the best set of information. Now, I don't understand how can we help? You understand, because I want you guys to understand something. The Sister Locks founder, Pamela Farrell, Sheila Hill out of Detroit. It was natural ingredients, 1992. Then it was deregulation of braid and locks by Joanne Cornwell, Dr. Joanne Cornwell, Sister Locks, Pam Farrell, out of all of those warriors of 95 and 4 and 6. You guys are late to the party. Okay? They deregulated that before. They even consulted with Mr. Morrow. Mr. Morrow told them do this, do that, and encourage him. So they went forth, and then they had Brady. There's an Ernisa Barneswell out of Florida. This shit was early 90s. Then you went into Locks and Chops, and then you had all of the other ones, and Cafele could even express and shit. All of that was in New York's in 93, 94, 95, 96. Okay? This shit is older than just, and I just want us to get on the historical page so we can get our facts together and understand how this shit really unfolded. So we can stop hitting and missing, because we're gonna fuck around and lose it all.
Well, this is the organization, the Natural Hairstyle and Braiding Coalition. This is the group of professionals in New York City that has really been going hard on the reality that their 300-hour requirement has now legally been reduced to 30 hours. And we're going to try to get them on to see exactly where they are. Like Cheryl said, how can we help? How can we bridge the gap? Because we're looking at Sunflower Powers. This girl is on fire tonight. Because like she said, in all seriousness though, the real crime is that 2 pages, the chapter they got in their cosmetology book, and those generic, the mannequins. Yeah, you're right. The real issue is the system that tells us white hair is the standard. Yeah, the whole opposite. And that's what Cheryl is talking about. And I think that's one of the challenges with that natural hair education is, you're right, Sunflower. They do have this opposite, us against them, or our hair, they not like us type of thing, instead of, like Cheryl said, using the term of variation. And so that's a crime, and nobody's speaking to that reality. And Cheryl, you're the only person. I'm not just saying that because I work alongside you, but I've been around the teacup. You know what I'm saying? The mother used to say, and I've heard the same thing. To your point, Sunflower, we keep hearing the same thing. It is time for something new. And something new falls under, like you said, you did not make this up. It is the curly hair sciences that your father put together. So there you have it. it's time for this kind of stuff to be out, and people need to know that it's there, so that we're not doing what Sunflower Power is talking about, in the chat. So as we bring this to a close, we got a good hour and a half in. You guys have been awesome. It's still not too late to do the right thing, which is this right here. I'm sure right now, because this, you guys held it out with us. So here we go. Do this right quick before we sign this off. I'm Cheryl. So the dangers of this miseducation of the curly hair, to you, we can decrease the likelihood if we get together and do what? Because our next, when we come back next week, I have reached out to some people. Hopefully, guys, we're going to have some guests. We're going to be talking about the fake training and apprenticeships. That's something that let me make sure I got this right. Let me look at this before I don't want to mess it up. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. I already got something. I'm sorry. Yep, I'm on the wrong one. I'm sorry. It's the consequences of what we're talking about, of when it's not there. So how can we get it together? Because when we come back next week, we're going to talk about how is this miseducation continuing to perpetuate, and the list goes on and on and on. So at the end of the day, you're saying we got to get together and do this, but how? Because the next topic is saying if we don't do your how, I don't know.
Well, I think it goes back to the premise of basically where we started. We are now so negligent. We are fumbling our inheritance. We're fumbling our heritage, trying to get to somewhere that I'm trying to understand. Is it that we are trying to, as Miss Flower Power, she stated, are we trying to be free from liability? And we feeling that the legitimacy of a license will help us do that? Are we trying to be able to feel free to get other business licenses to create businesses? What are we trying to do? Because what is the real impediment in the way? And as we can recapture the multi-billion-dollar industry that our predecessors left us prior to 1989, as it transitioned in that whole decade, because the 90s disrupted Black ownership and Black influence of the major direction and progression and the trajectory of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And once 1999 happened, and we do have the Y2K, there was some impediments that, or natural enemies that was made of cosmetology that didn't need to happen. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because it was cosmetologists like Jane Carter that led the wave of embodying natural ingredients in hair products. It was a cosmetologist who did that, not a random natural hair person. Mm. And so cosmetologists always did the little girl's hair. We didn't put when hairstylists did young teenagers and they did their hair, and women or older women and even men, they weren't not chemically treated. Okay.
Right. That's
so
true.
Those things were born out of the cosmetology salon professional world.
So what you're saying so far, there's several ways, but in essence of time, we got to get Live Work Clean's question asked as well. One of the ways to help bridge the gap is to start off with the history. Mm-hmm. That and I agree. I think the natural hair and the world of cosmetology, because I always use myself as an example. I'm not on this podcast trying to sit like I'm in the ivory tower. I was there too. And in some instances, I still am, which is why education is important. But we all don't have the right foundation when it comes to the history to begin to build together. So that is one way that we can surely begin to bridge the gap and move forward in our industry. And so this was her question. Cheryl, please explain our hair needs moisture, not oil to flourish. Page 63 in Beauty Myth, the oils myth, that direct quote I saw reading. How does that moisture happen? Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think our hair loses moisture if the hair in fact is hydrophobic? We have been taught to be able to, let me explain this.
She said no.
Right, okay. Moisture has to happen either two ways. It has to be something that your eye goes to or your fingertips go to, right? And so what does smooth mean to you? Smooth or slick? If you guys were to feel a smooth, slick hair strand, what would your brain say? It would say moist. Okay? It would say moist. But is it moister than a curly hair that is not smooth? So smooth, soft, sleek means moisture in your brain, because at the end of the day, your hair don't have no moisture loss. You don't cut it and water comes out of it. So the moisture thing really comes out of two premises. And please try to close your eyes and think about this. When Black people say to themselves, I need the curl definition, they are connecting that look to moisture. But then when the moisture evaporates and hair gets dry, they think that they lost moisture, but it was only moisture on top. It was not really hydrated. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And so we have to stop making wetness attached to smooth, soft, silky, because all of those words are getting us in trouble, live, work, clean, because it's really starting to go into whiteness.
Right. So in your book, when you say our hair needs moisture, a la water, not oil to flourish, you're talking about what's in the hair naturally.
Hydration.
You can't put.
Right.
Yeah. So it's an internal, and I think that's the other thing. I tell people all the time, if it's on your head, you're good to go. It's only when it's not there. I think that we keep thinking that we got to do something. So our hair needs what it already has. You don't have to put the oil. You ain't got to slather it. I mean, if you're going to add a little bit to create the curl or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's not anything external or something extra. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, but let me make a correction, because when I'm talking about the oil myth, that statement remains to be true in terms of scalp health and other things. It is not to be juxtaposed against oil versus moisture. When I'm talking about the oil myth, I'm talking about the whole 360 of the oil world. I'm not juxtaposing it or putting and comparing oil versus water. Right. It's a little difference. Do you understand? But the product world sold you the moisture lie. The product world taught you that. And let me just say this. Where did they get that from? Where did product companies get the moisture word from?
Dr. Willie Morrow.
Activator. Moisturize, the curl. And you guys bitched about that, didn't like that because it was too goddamn wet. The problem is, out of all of the natural products that came out of 1992, all the way to 2025, do you guys know that y'all asses ain't made one activator that y'all satisfied with, even 28 years later, that could ever rival the activator of the curl world? Because you're too goddamn busy trying to go natural ingredients. And natural ingredients are not appropriate for cosmetics.
Stop. Hammer time.
Can't do it. Y'all not going to use enough aloe vera gel to make y'all shit moisturize. It ain't.
Not enough. What's that? Marshmallow root. Not enough.
It ain't going.
Jamaican.
And I'm gonna tell you right now. And I'm gonna tell you. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna tell you from a legacy brand that created the whole curl. I'm gonna tell you. I don't give a shit what you guys say. Now let me look in the camera. I don't care what you guys say. We are going to deal with what George Washington Carver and all of the great chemists. We're going to make cosmetics because messing around with y'all with them natural ingredients, y'all ain't loyal anyway because you see what's happening to Mael. And she stayed at least natural or food grade. And you still ain't goddamn satisfied. You guys are tar and feathering that woman. And she gave you nothing but, at the end of the day, you're still not satisfied. And so we have to decide at the end of the day, do we have issues with Mael? Yes, we do. However, for other reasons. We had problems with Carol's daughter. We got problems with Pattern Beauty, Fenty, Sacred, all of them. Because they don't make cosmetics. The root of natural hair care was never rooted in cosmetic science. It was rooted in food grade science. And that's one of the reasons why when L'Oreal got a hold of the palette of Carol's daughter, they threw that shit away. And they never made her again.
Literally.
They never made her again because they could not do shit with it.
Yeah, those kitchen concoctions. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am.
When they acquire the brand, sorry to cut you off, Ladosha, but when they acquire the brands, of course they have to change the shit because the shit got to be cosmetically sound. And then you guys want to fuss about it. Oh, it's not the same. Oh, it's different. Of course the guy shit is different. They have to they got to turn that shit from a recipe, bullshit recipe to what we call a formulation. So they can do it over and over and over the same. A recipe, you can't make the same.
Right. And y'all know that if y'all cook. One of the things we say in the world is colorist. If you can't cook, you can't color. And that's why. Because you can't cookie cut this stuff. And I think the natural hair world, they think that they can, but nature doesn't produce the exact same avocado all the time. You guys got to know this by now. Yeah. Lemons don't taste the same as it did last week as it did this week, So you're not even in nature going to get the same thing. So you cannot duplicate those recipes. And the companies, they have to do that. Like she said, one, for the consistency. Two, it's got to last on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't buying this stuff fast enough. And then I just think that Kay's comment about, I don't know if it was related earlier, but is it the same as uncombed hair? That is some of the phenomenon that we're seeing with all of this confusion, is that the education, like if you were to look at, let's take this Milady's Standard of Cosmetology book, correct? Mm-hmm. We know this book is not addressing the things that we're talking about on this podcast. This book is not addressing that there's a sector of Black women who are putting oodles and oodles, not only natural food stuff in their hair, but products and not getting it off. The shampoos can't get rid of it. This book isn't even addressing what you're saying, the whole uncombed hair phenomenon. These things were 20 years ago. There was no such thing as a detangle, demat hair service. When I opened up my salon 25 years ago, 2000. All right. When I started that whole process, okay, it was nobody ever came to the salon with their hair, like she said, uncombed. So we have a lot to do to help bridge us together. But I'm going to agree with Cheryl that if we start with the history, which is why when I helped to write the curriculum in the Gambia, I'm here to tell y'all one of the things that we were able to do, we were able to start with that history. Their cosmetology has history in it. Now, remember, the school is the beginning. And I think a lot of people expect too much out of what they're getting from that introductory education, right, Cheryl? People think because you go that you're going to just learn everything that there is to know. Look, guys, no school can do it all in 9 months, 4 years. It's just a continued learning process. So, but we do have it. And I agree with Cheryl that if we incorporate history and make it the foundation to help kickstart, this unification of the upper and lower Egypt, I mean, y'all using that stuff anyway. I mean, to bring the two lands together, we have to have the history. My boss is in the chat. Lavina, y'all dropped them L's in the chat. And she could tell you because she went to the Gambia and actually she was responsible for outlining our conversation to get this curriculum together. And what we said was we had to use the KISS principle, and that was keep it simple. They didn't want this educational curriculum to be all this crazy stuff. They wanted it to be what we are talking about here, but it had to be culturally sound to the Gambia and to Senegal. So when you talked about what is natural hair and you gave that definition of cultural styling, I think the whole chat was like, you know what? You're dead on. You're dead on. Another question right quick. So can you use curl activator without doing the chemical process? I have seen some use it on their hair in videos.
So what you're asking me, can you go buy some curl activator like old school, old time, old school curl activator and use it on some hair that ain't been treated and rolled up by cold wave? Is that what you're asking me?
Okay, hold up. We're going to give her a second to answer. So while she's waiting to respond, I'm just going to read it out just to kill a little time. Trish the Natural wants to know. So you can use curl activator without doing the chemical rod process. I have seen some natural use it on their hair in videos. And Cheryl just asked her, do you really think you can take the curl activator or moisturizer on natural hair and create the rod look? Okay. She hasn't answered that.
I think she wanted to know, just can you? Because see,
she said she's making a statement. She said, so you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can, absolutely, because of course the curl activator don't know what you got going. Product don't have brains. They don't know. They just meet a surface and they do what they got to do. But my point is, a curl activator is designed to be able to weather. Now, one of the reason why the curl per se, what is one element that the curl did not require? And yes, I did ask that question. I want you guys to answer it, but you can use it. It doesn't, the curl activator just because it triggered moisture, anything wet triggers a curl. So the moisturization element comes in that it defends against weathering. So because it has a great oil and water and great chemistry, because it's a cosmetic, doesn't have any food grade breakdown. It has cosmetic ingredients designed to weather the environment, regardless if it's too much humidity in the air or if it's not enough humidity in the air. It's designed to weather those things because it's formulated to do that. But when you have food grade ingredients that are not designed to do that, or you have other cations and ions or other types of ingredients that are just based on food science, right, or herbal science or botanical kind of recipes and interactions, then you're going to get a product line that's going to cake. And then, of course, you're going to come to the RDT team salon, you know, and
trying to get that stuff off. Now, she's saying without the chemical process, and we get that a lot. And I don't know if this is what you're asking, that people,
right,
they think that if you put this on the hair, it's going to make it look like the curly perm. And the answer is no. You have to have the chemical process to really
have that look.
Yeah, to have that look, but to get the benefits of it not drying out like I'm not talking about, I'm not
natural hair
disrespecting, but if you're trying to use like a Cantu or As I Am or Shea Moisture or Auntie Jessie's and Cousin Lulu's and peanuts in them, marshmallow root extracts with the argan, avocado mix.
It ain't gonna work like the 1980s. No.
Yeah, because those products won't withstand the weather. So it won't make the hair curly, but once you put it on the hair, it will coat it. But you won't get the feel like you would if it was chemically altered. It would just have that slip, that glycerin slip that you feel. Right. Yeah, you can put it on there.
It's a cosmetic. It is designed to keep you moisturized and curl power and looking absolutely the way most people want their curls to look.
Right, but that's on a certain texture. You gotta put that in there too.
Well, it depends. Yeah. Spectrum, just like natural hair. But what I'm basically saying is that the products are designed to do other things. Doesn't matter because you don't have a curl, you don't have a cold wave curl, you didn't get the rod set. You know what I mean? You didn't get the perm. That has nothing to do with it. I'm saying the maintenance products of that era are cosmetically conducive to make the curls and moisturize the hair better than the set of palettes of products that are made within the last 25 years. They're just not good enough.
Right. That's why people are running. They're looking for that moisturizer. Like, can I? Yeah, on some textures. Yep. We tell a lot of people just use that when y'all braid. I braid hair wet. Yep. And I got a lot of videos. That's what I ain't blow drying no hair. I'm about to go pull out that. Y'all know I'm going to get some of that lustrous, snapback. You know what I'm saying? So can you use glycerin products in dry climate, or is it just a myth that glycerin dries the hair out? I ain't heard that one, but anyway.
I know I ain't heard that one either.
Yeah, glycerin can't dry.
Glycerin is water loving.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. Yeah. And see, and once again, you can't listen to a natural hair care person talk about cosmetics of 90s and
it's water binding. Yeah, it loves it. It's water loving. Yeah, it just loves it. So don't listen to them, Liver. Listen to us. I'm telling you, we got this. We got this. That is an excellent question. Listen, you guys are on fire tonight. We've got 2 hours in. We always know these topics are going to be good.
Glycerin is a humectant. It's
a humectant. Thank you. There you go. Live, work, clean. So you're good. I can't imagine glycerin drying nothing out. Okay, but they say stranger things have occurred. Don't listen to them. Listen to us. Remember, next month we're going to start off when we come back on Thursday. Whoops, I clicked the wrong one. Dr. Joy is talking about summer eating. Summer eating with Dr. Joy is going down on this Thursday right here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. So come on over to Planet Pluto, get off the mothership. And also it's going to be followed by our June series. It's all about the film industry. And we're going to have a lovely, lovely filmmaker, up-and-coming filmmaker on to talk about how can we use this, you know, in our industry as well. And then last but not least, let me just show you guys a quick video. We had the opportunity, the under the guys in partnership with the Beauty and Barber Collective. We were able to honor Miss Lovey Lewis, the owner of Love My Hair School of Cosmetology. Here we go. Check it out. All right, that's Fête du Jour French for Day Party. Yes, I'll make them a little bit long. I'm not good like wavering them. We're gonna have more videos of the Fête du Jour French for Day Party. We host this at barbershops, hair salon, you name it, and we honor you, we celebrate you. This is what we do. No data mining, no bootleg education. We highlight the technology used in our industry to be able to service the public in a very proficient, professional, and advanced manner. So congratulations to Miss Lovey Lewis, the owner of Love My Hair School of Cosmetology. Next, we're going to be at Milano, who's the famous barber to the stars in Cleveland. We're going to rock it out with a whole bunch of barbers. I think that one's going to be buck wild because them barbers is flying up in there in Cleveland. Oh, by the way, if you know of a cosmetologist who wants to do this in their state, just let us know. We'll send over the format and y'all can just copy it and do the same thing. Use the flyer, whatever y'all need. We got y'all back. So let them know. Okay. This was a great podcast. I will make them longer. Okay. I will make that a little bit longer, but I think Mr. Abdullah has something for us, right? Mr. Abdullah has something for us. Yeah, I think Mr. Abdullah is working on something better. So just keep watching us here on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube shorts and everything. Look at Lavina. Yay, Dr. Joy is coming. So summer eating with Dr. Joy. Y'all get y'all blenders and all y'all natural, all y'all granola babies. It's for you guys. All right, so any closing thoughts on this wonderful topic of the miseducation of curly hair as we kick off our summer series right here on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair? We're talking the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. Any closing thoughts here for us?
We want more engagement. And we want some of you guys to come on with us and to just really, we're here to help. We're here to explain. We're here to answer. If you want to just reach out to us, it's you know, the email's down there.
Anybody in the chat wants to come on, you guys are more than welcome. We will email you the link. You have to come in 5 minutes before so we can do an audio visual check. Maybe there's a topic. We can go off the script. This y'all channel. We here for y'all. So you're like, you know what? I don't want to talk about that next week. I want to talk about something I want to talk about. And you want to come in the chat with your stuff. We're here to help. Maybe you want to teach us something too. We're open, okay? So whatever you need, we're here for you guys. Just email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com, and we're just going to rock it out with you guys, okay? Oh, my cousin is here in the chat. Let me give my cousin a big round of applause. That's my cousin Toddy. Why do y'all put that tea in the chat for my cousin Toddy? What's going on, Toddy? All right, one more clap for my cousin. You know that is my cousin. All right. Now, I gave her 2 claps for 2 reasons. Because we want our cousin Ray Ray on, Toddy. If you can have Ray Ray, I'll hit him up on Instagram. I know he probably does not handle his Instagram. But if you can hit him up and ask him to give me a call, because we would love to have him as a guest as we talk about the beauty and barber industry in film. So if you can have him give me a call, or I'll call him. But I did hit him up on Instagram. I know he like, don't be asking me no questions. You know how cousins are. He real ghetto. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, that's it. You guys are thebomb.com. Toddy, we showed you some love. We're going to be back on Thursday with Dr. Joy, and we'll be back next week.
Oh, yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, the consequences.
It's going to be
not having that proper education. But on Thursday, it's going to be off the richest. I'm going to show you, I'm bring out my stuff that I got from Dr. Joy because I've been taking everything. All right. Okay, guys, we love you so very much. And you know what we say when we're signing out here on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, right? We say a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you got some hair weave, don't worry about that. You got some bald patches, don't worry about that. Little piece just came out. Hey, or you're going to shave it off. Don't worry about that. Please don't, because all of that is beautiful too. And so are you. Deuces, my good people. Are you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I did it with Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.